Hi guys, good evening. Hope you're doing well this week. You're having a good week up to now in this frosty weather we've been having in the UK. So, episode 3. Well, this is the part where I strip the bike down to all its individual parts, separate everything and get them ready for process. So you'll see me take the wheels out, take the pipes off, remove the wiring loom, and eventually drop the engine so that we're left with a bare frame. These are all going to get divided into the boxes I showed in the last episode of powder coat, things going off to vapor blasting, things going off to rezinking, etc. So carry on watching the video. We're going to speed it up so you're not sat here all night watching me strip a bike, and then we'll see you later on. Evening all. Well, here we are in the workshop. So we've got the RGV nearly stripped down. We're in the latter stage of taking the engine out. Well, we're going to take the engine out and all the electrics are out. I'll just have I'll whiz the camera around and I'll show you. Yeah, so here we are. Basically everything's off the bike apart from the forks. Forks are still in just because I've got the front wheel clamping the bike, and you need to box it up, prop it underneath to be able to take the engine out. So it's on paddock stand at the back. So we've got the engine there, all the hoses off it, all the electrics, wiring loom is out. It's in a pretty sorry state, if I'm being honest. Just a few cables and wires. The wires that go to the engine, that all the electrics, the charging and the ignition system. So I'll go around the front. Yeah, so getting close there, you can see how oxidised it all is. And if I get right in there, these corrode. So it should be a nice shiny flat edge around that pipe. You can get them taken out and new ones fitted. It's just a bit of a ball ache, really. Got to send them down to the tuning works in Lincolnshire. I'm getting all these vapor blasted heads, barrels, cases. You can see it better on top there where the light is. It must have been stood for, I'd say, at least 20 years, this bike, because there's so much just oxidization and dust that's soaked into oil. So around here, that's all covered in oil. But then it's like a felt surface, because it's been oily and then all the dirt is stuck to it. Yes, the tail's all clear, everything's off it. Just a few, just overflow hoses there. I'll just come down to that bit there. It's in pretty good condition. I mean, it's a bit oxidised in places. The shock's really rusted, the spring, but they can come back like new. There's that Japanese sticker again. Really cool to see. So taking the next little job's taking the engine out. Then I'll get the forks out last. Then the frame, there'll be nothing to hold the frame up. I'll run through these later on in this video, but we've got various boxes, so back brake, radiator, hoses, battery box, the carbs, plastics, electrics, all the rubbers, everything that's going to vapor, apart from more stuff to come from the engine. Clocks to be refurbished by myself. And there's the huge pile of fasteners and nuts and bolts, which I'll have to clean up before they go to the zinkers. Oh, we've got a box for powder coat down there, black powder coat. And then I've got a little tub of things up to now that I need to get, just fiddly things. So thermostat, the tab was brittle and it snapped off. Hero pegs, need a lever, span adjuster lever. Brake pads, rear master cylinder kit, I need one of those, but it's coming on. Really is coming on. Once the engine's out, I can start cleaning up a few of the boxes and see what we've got, get things off the process. So, I know why the engine locked up on the very first video. The bottom cylinder was full of water. I don't know if you can see it dripping out there. When I turn the flywheel, there's a few drips and there's a big puddle under the bike. So it must have just been stored outside. Yeah, water must have got in through the carb, through that inlet, into the bottom cylinder. So we're going to have to take I was going to take the top crankcase off. The top crankcase off anyway, down there. That's the top crankcase. Let's get the crank out. I was going to do that just to vapor blast the crankcases anyway, so it's all coming apart. And we'll see what's the state of play. There's the engine. It's just sat on the bench now, so it's I'm just about to start stripping it down, but just thought I'd give you a little run round it, show you the condition. As you can see, the aluminium that's been exposed to weather and damp, really, I mean, all these cylinder nuts, really rusty, and the head is extremely oxidized. That's all going off to vapor though, and it'll vapor blasting, and it'll come back like new, to be honest. Yeah, very oily around the power valve. The power valve cover's been leaking there, so very oily around there. As I've shown you previously earlier on, that spigot, water spigot, been sat and just corroded. Yeah, I had some real trouble getting the hose off, to be honest. Yeah, it's had a lot of oil on the underside of the engine. Looks like there's a bit of a weep from the clutch cover there. It looks in quite good condition now once you look past the dirt. So yeah, the water pump cover, that'll get vapor blasted, as well as the heads, barrels, the power valve wheel, and the bracket that holds it all on, that'll all get resynced. What I am pleased to see is the rubbers. The rubbers are intact, completely intact, no cracks in them or anything, which is really good. Probably just need a little bit of heat thrown at them just to soften them up a bit. There's the Japanese decal, all about, I think it's about the engine oil, the gearbox oil level and what to put in it. Could Google translate that actually. But as you can see from the exhaust stud there, you can tell it's the first time they've been off the bike, just because how clean it is. And even inside that port there, how clean that is. It's a real genuine, complete bike. Showing you earlier on about the oil's leaked around off the chain, and mainly looks like it's off the chain. Doesn't look like there's any leaks, to be fair. And then all the dust stuck to it. That'll all clean up, get it vapor blasted. So that's the engine. I'm just about to start dismantling it so we can send all the parts off for vapor and all the nuts and bolts, fasteners for resinking. So then we've got the frame. I'll just go back a bit. The frame there. It's, yeah, again, in quite good condition. First time it's ever been apart. Little bit of grime and oil around where the chain passes through there. Little bit of oxidization. But they're really difficult because they're anodized, these frames, over the top of the alloy to protect them. They're really difficult to get back to a factory finish, because if you get them blasted or stripped, the welds change colour. So you either got to you can rub these down. I'm going to use a well-worn Scotch Brite pad, with some soapy water, and you just give them a light rub down and flat it off. And the marks do disappear a little bit. But Rob, whose bike it is, he wants it original. He doesn't want it powder coating to cover anything up. But the main spar of the frame, that is really good. Not too bad. There's a few little marks on it, but like they'll disappear a bit once it's cleaned. So that'll be getting degreased, jet washed. Then we've got, I'll just show you the forks. There we go, there's the forks, the tubes, as you can see, really quite pitted. There's no way back for those as they are. So this bit, that's the bit that's been inside the leg, the fork leg, absolutely like brand new. But obviously anything that's exposed and been in the weather, especially there, really bad. And up the top there, that's been facing forward. You can always tell which way they've been facing. That's the reverse. They've been a bit protected on the reverse, but then you turn it around to the front that's been in the weather, and they're always worse. Likewise of that one, that's not as bad on that one. The back's quite good, but they're getting reground. I take them to a guy whose business, would you believe, is all based on hard chroming London taxi cab steering racks, of all things, and he's made a whole business out of it. He does other stuff now, and he does quite a lot for motorcycles, like fork legs and suspension, struts in the rear shocks, but it works out well better than standard, because standard, I believe, the chrome itself is about 5 to 8 thou of an inch thick. If you buy replacement tubes, they are only 2 to 3 thou, and you can really tell the difference. Yet when I take these to Steve, the chroming guy, he does this to 12 to 15 thousandths of an inch thick, so over twice as thick as a standard tube, and you can really see the difference. The chrome has got a real depth to it, and it's hard chrome, so it's really good for the longevity of the bike going forward. So let's move on. Front wheel there, just need to take the discs off that. Yeah, so the front subframe, I'll just stand that up there. The front subframe, a little bit of oxidisation, but it's just dirty more than anything. Really dirty. That'll just clean up. And then the swinging arm, that's a bit, I'll just go in close. You can see a bit more oxidisation there, quite a bit more than the frame. And on the side there, but there's a bit of, I'll just turn it over. There's a bit of damage there on that bit. And there's a bit of damage there. That looks like a foot, where the footrest has come into it. So this is going off to a guy called Mushti, and now Mushti is a guy from Zimbabwe he's made a little garden shed business out of polishing and doing brushed aluminium, chrome polishing, mirror polishing on aluminium. He's really good at it. He's a bit of a genius, so that's going off to him for resurrection. Tank down there, we've seen that before. All the lacquer lifted off the top. Yeah, so nearly there. Once the engine's stripped and the parts are in the zinc bin and the vapor blasting box, that's it. They'll be going off to the processes whilst I go on holiday for a few weeks. So I'm making good progress. So I just wanted to show you, I've just started taking the motor apart, and I just wanted to show everyone, wow, it's dirtier than a dirty thing of a very dirtiness. Anyway, I've taken a power valve cover off and look at what I found inside. Wow, I have not seen an RGV power valve cover so bad. So all this evidence, I can't believe how dirty it is, but all this evidence definitely pointing to, it's got the original seal there, the original, gasket. You can see it just split at the corner there. But wow, I have not seen a power valve. I mean, they barely move. They're sticky. They barely move. They're that gunked up with oil. So that's what 16,000 kilometers, 10,000 miles without cleaning power valves looks like. Wow. The front one's just as bad. It's like black molasses. Wow. I just thought I'd show you that, guys. That's tickled me how bad they are. They could fail at any time, because when they're so sticky like this, they stick together and it can cause vibration and cracks, and it's just a world of pain. They need more maintenance than this, but thankfully I've found it. Hopefully they're all right once I get them out. If they've got more to show you once I get them out, I'll just give you a little look at them. Okay, guys. In fact, this one's it's tickled me even more. Look, I was telling lies just now. Look at the other one. Oh my word. Oh my word. That is the worst power valve cover I've ever seen on an RGV. Oh, funny. That's tickled me. Okay, boys and girls. Speak to you in a bit. Well, I have just taken the crank out, and it's interesting. She's a dirty girl, this engine. I mean, look at the gunk that's come out of it. That's just the residue of whatever was left inside the gearbox. And the watery oil, the darker stuff is out of the crankcase where the crank sits. And there is the empty crankcase. So I've taken the top off. I'll show you that in a minute. Just give it a bit of a wipe out, but it was absolutely filthy, full of sludge. So I've just spoken to Rob, and we're going to rebuild the crank. So we've got a very noisy left-hand main bearing. You can hear that. Centre one's not quite as bad, but you can hear it. The only one that's reasonable, which is quiet, well, it's not even quiet. You can just about hear that one. So yeah, and obviously that's the conrod from the cylinder that was full of water. Doesn't look too bad through the conrod there, but all the mains need replacing anyway, so the crank's got to come apart. So this will be getting sent off. So it'll have new left hand main bearing, new centre main bearing, labyrinth seal will be okay. You can't even get them anymore anyway. And a new right hand crank seal and outer main, and then both big end conrod bearings, and it'll be like new. It'll be right as rain. It'll be good. Oh yeah, and final bit before everything goes off. So there's the top crankcase. Just going to go to vapor. I'll probably strip the gearbox and take the clutch out and all that, and the other crankcase will go to vapor as well. But I might have to take it separately because I've run out of time really. Need to get these away. So I've got a box full of all the aluminium bits that are going to vapor. Heads and barrels, top crankcase going to vapor. And yeah, that crankcase will be going to vapor. Got that box there, that's going to be zinc, so that's going to be mainly clear silver zinc. Quite a bit of green zinc that goes to a separate place, olive drab, I've mentioned before. And then there'll be a few gold bits, gold zinc. That's all going off. All the rest of this will just be cleaned up here. Yeah, so that's it. So that's about it now till I get back from my holidays. So I'll see you all in a few weeks, guys. Enjoy. Bye.